Boom, we're early. Told y'all I was gonna be a little late with this live stream tonight just because of some things I had going on. But unfortunately, halftime hangout, we had talked about how the Bulls could possibly, get it together in the second half. That did not happen. The Bulls played. I mean, let's just be real. The Bulls played a terrible game tonight. But with that being said, we know why, right? That we know the reasons why they played that terrible game, but it was a terrible game. Zach showed up, right? Still, he only shot 1 for 3 from 3-pointers. But when we look at like the bench, we didn't get our first points off the bench until damn near the fourth quarter. Now they scored more, like it's disproportionate. Like if you look at the box score at the end of the game, it'll make you think the bench scored more than what they did. But most of those points came well after the fourth when the game was already decided. I mean, we did end up with 16 points off the bench, but like I said, all 16 of those didn't come to the second half, and at least 12 of those didn't came after the game was already decided. This was a terrible game. Vooch 8 for 23 from this game is not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Lonzo Ball came on, right? He did his part. Lonzo Ball shot 4 for 9 from 3, 6 for 12 overall, scored 19 points. Yeah, you can say you want to see him score more. Derrick Jones Jr. did his thing. But overall, the team played sloppy. The team didn't play together. They didn't seem to have the same focus or heart that they had before. And that's why they eventually they lost this game, getting out rebounded by 5 rebounds, not a super big amount, but they did get out rebounded. The turnovers killed them as well. 17 turnovers. This is just not going to cut it. The Bulls did not play a game that that they could have won this. Now, again, we know that the roster was depleted. We know they only set 11. We know that they're missing 4 players who were heavily in their rotation. We know all of that. And this game would have a very different outlook for DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso were in this game. But that being said, this team did not execute, right? It'd be different if they played hard and still lost. But this team it did not cut it. That, like I said, that bench scoring is not going to get it done at all. We did not have any points from our bench until almost the fourth quarter. And then the first player off our bench to score was Tony Bradley. It's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Not going to cut it, man. Not going to cut it at all. Not going to cut it at all. DBD, yo, what's going on, bro? Hold on. I got my 2 bottles of water, so I don't have to get up and expose my pantsless podcasting to y'all. But yeah, DBD, this hurt, but no ball movement. None at all. Like this was like watching 5 crackheads play basketball in some degrees, right? Like when you think about watching people play ball on the street, like Zach LaVine was the one guy who comes out with the arm sleeve, and you're like, this motherfucker's gonna try to act like Allen Iverson, and then everybody else was just like crackheads out there tonight. Ball did his thing overall too. I don't want to shit on Lonzo Ball, but yeah, it was a weird game, man. Well, we knew how this game was going to. Yep, I said it. This game pretty much went on the worst case scenario that I gave in my preview video. Do you expect your bench to score when you have those players? No. But with that said, what they showed in our last game gave some promise that they were ready to step up. But yes, overall, we don't have scores from the bench. Overall, looking at this bench, you wouldn't expect them to score a bunch of points. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Yeah, not worried about that. I talk about the bench to analyze and give it, but yeah, the biggest concern here was Vooch. And Vooch not realizing he didn't have it tonight and stop fucking shooting. Now, with that being said, who else was going to shoot? So that's probably why. But like, yeah. Dotson played first quarter minutes. How are we going to win this game? Hey, there you go. Ricky Fontaine, I called Windy City Breeze for you, and they said hit him up in his DM and Twitter. Okay. I appreciate that, bro. I will definitely reach out to them. Definitely. That sucked, but what made it worse is living in Hawaii. I had to listen to the Cavs broadcast. Oh, Jesus, man. That's fucking terrible. Terrible. Funny that Billy Donovan still runs just Vooch out there with 3 guards when Cavs had Laurie Allen. I mean, what else was he going to do? Like, really look at it. What else was he going to do? I know people are going to say he should have played Marco out there, and they had Marco and Cook available, but those guys are really just out there as to have bodies, man. They're not really ready to compete at this level. I don't think even if you did play them, it's really going to change the outcome. You have a foreign rookie in Simonovic. You have a young guy in Cook who while he has shown some promise, like he's 24 years old, 6'8", 255 pounds, but is he really ready to be out there defending and guarding NBA players? It's probably would have been the same thing even if he did play those guys. I don't think they could have done much anything. Cavs are, like I talked about it in my preview video. The Cavs are pretty good. They are ranked above us in defense. And that's it. There's defensive rating. They rank well above us. Now their offensive rating is towards the bottom half of the league, but defensively, the Cavs have been solid all season. I hate excuses, but you can't even really be mad for real. You could see the cohesion that was missing. Yeah, for sure. Especially on defense. The five that were on the floor have probably never touched the court together. That's a good point. That's a very good point. Very good point. Like playing with a random five at the Y. Yep, for sure. It's crazy. It's crazy. Y'all dragging, we're gonna be fine. I mean, but it's not about just saying we're gonna be fine. Again, it's funny how as fans of teams, like when things are going good, we want to talk about that heavily, and then when things are bad, it's like, oh, well, we're gonna be fine overall. Let's not stick on it. Like we're reviewing the game. That's what we're here to talk about, the game that just happened. So yeah, we know we're going to be fine overall. We know why we lost this game. And nobody's saying that the Bulls season is over. Or nobody's walking away from this game saying that, because we know long term this team is better than the Cavs. We know that if we were at 100%, we would have beat this team today. And it may have been closer, right? But or tighter or tougher game in the first half or whatever. But we should be confident that the Bulls can beat this Cavaliers team easily. But with that being said, we're here to talk about the game that we just watched. And it is what it is. We sucked. This game is on Vooch and the bench. Zach and Zoe did their part. 100%. Zach and Zoe did their part, right? They absolutely did. They absolutely did. They still had negative plus minus, but again, that's more of a team thing than an individual thing. But Lonzo here, 4 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, 5 turnovers though for Lonzo. So let's make sure that we are honest in our evaluation of that. 4 turnovers from Zach LaVine. Out of the starters, they had the most turnovers, but they did handle the ball the most as well. So that makes sense. But yeah, just bad night overall. Bad night overall. Vooch seemed disengaged. He doesn't look at the rim before shooting the ball. He gets down on himself too hard. Yeah, I think to also coming in this season with the slump that he started off with, and even though he started to work himself out of it, I think when he does shoot, he's probably thinking, "Oh crap, here we go again." So, not going to lie, seeing this coming, I'm happy they have the next 2 off. Absolutely, give some time to get health. We should I think by the 10-day thing, I believe we should have Kobe White back. Now again, he hasn't been playing great either, so it's not like that's a super big positive for us, but we should have Kobe White back. Maybe he can up the scoring off the bench for us some. So hopefully we have him back. If we don't have him back by Miami, we'll definitely have him back Tuesday by Detroit. Stanley Johnson will probably be in Miami as well. Not that really is going to do much else, but it'll be another body out there. So hopefully we can get more healthy. And clearly, I'm guessing DeMar DeRozan did not pass the 2 COVID tests, because he would have had to test it negative 2 times within 24 hours or well above that. We haven't heard anything, so he's probably going to be gone that whole time as well. Bad game by my Bulls. Bounce back time. Hopefully, the one thing that we see is when the Bulls do lose, right, they bounce back. Well, even if they lose, they've lost back to back twice, but if they do, they bounce back pretty hard. So I expect them to have a bounce back game. Vooch especially. Hey, at least we play them 2 more times in March for that rematch. Oh yeah, we're gonna get that rematch. They're in division opponent, so we're gonna play them. We're gonna play them plenty of times. Well, look on the bright side. The Bucks are losing to the Heat, so we still have second place in the Eastern Conference. But I think Acme might have to tweak the bench a bit, although we had key players. Well, they can't really tweak the bench too much. They already used their hardship exception to sign Stanley Johnson. It just depends on like if Billy Donovan wants to get creative and use Cook or Marco, but I don't expect him to. Like I don't expect him to. I won't even get into the thing if I think he should or shouldn't. But I just don't think by what we've seen that we can expect him to play those guys. So we'll see. Bulls don't need to make no trade. We're not talking about trades. We'll probably get into that. We get into that almost every live stream, but I agree with you. I think they more so need to look at buyout than they do the trade market. It wasn't whoever was at the 3 or 4. It was whoever Billy felt was the best wing player. True. This loss didn't sting as bad as not at all. Not because we know, right? Like look at who we're missing out there. We're missing 2 of our starters in DeMar DeRozan and Javonte Green. We're missing Alex Caruso, who might as well be our 6th starter. Just those 3 players alone, missing those 3 players who have been key to our wins. in stretches and everything. Well, DeMar and Caruso have been extremely important to every win that we've had. That they've been out there for, but Javonte Green and what he does energy wise, and even though he isn't a tall player, right? His defense, especially if he played the same way he did in the preseason against these guys, especially like Laurie and stuff, he would have been more disruptive out there. So we're looking at a completely different game. Completely different game. There's no way Dean Wade hit those threes in garbage time. Just a fucking terrible game overall, for sure. Yeah, I think we should have Caruso and Kobe back from Miami, and Detroit Green should be back. Yeah, for sure, for sure. So yeah, I mean Caruso. Yeah, they said he's going to set out a week, so we should have him back by Miami too. January is always the best play for DeRozan in regular season, so you might end the season averaging 28 a game. Who knows? We'll see. It's why must y'all ask dumbass questions? Like, come on. We already had a bad game. You gonna bring that dumbass shit in here after a bad game? Is Caruso good? Is your mama good? Is your mama good? I'll find out and I'll get back to you on that. Terrence Ross and Derek Favors during trade deadline. Again, I think they need to focus more on buyout than the trades, because what you take for get both of those, I don't know, but we'll see. They're definitely going to bring it. 72-10, Bulls lost to Memphis twice. This happens. Well, there you go. There you go. Javonte Green is like our PJ Tucker. That is a great comp. Great. There you go. There you go. There you go. It's funny that some people are mad with this loss. We are shorthanded, saying our bench sucks when 4 of our bench are missing. I mean, but I'm saying this bench that played tonight. I'm not saying overall. Again, let's keep it contained. What I'm talking about. I don't know about what's going on in the chat if I'm missing anything, but I'm talking about strictly this game and how they played this game. That's what I'm talking about. Can you imagine being Coach D, looking at these guys who are available and thinking, am I coaching the G League? Hey, I mean, he understands it though. He understands it. Lonzo Petty, okay, right? Yes, Lonzo's good. Lonzo's good. Do you think the Hornets would accept the trade? No. And no, I wouldn't want to give up Derrick Jones Jr. And Book Night. What? Who the fuck? Oh, that's a Hornets player. All right. Answers is Caruso good? It's only a bad loss because we were missing 6 players. The ones that playing got to play better. Yeah, for sure. Games of the show how Felicio. What the fuck? Come on, man. Why y'all want to bring Petty Roosevelt out? How valuable Felicio was. In what? What? The only value Felicio had is in the jokes that we got for him. That's it. The Grizzlies were still in Vancouver, but that's true. The 10 losses against the Vancouver, 10 lost games twice, and expansion Raptors once. I didn't know that. I don't know how we're going to win against Miami this shorthanded. Well, the thing is by the Miami game, we won't be this shorthanded. By Miami, we should have Caruso is probably going to be back. Kobe may be back by that game. So we won't be this shorthanded. We'll still be shorthanded, but not this shorthanded. Vucevic fucking sucked this game. Yeah, he was trash. And Siri tries to answer my question. How do you think we should involve Vucevic specifically? I mean, we've seen the key thing. What Vucevic's shot has to be falling. His shot has to be falling. Other than that, he contributes to the game with his passing and just his spacing and everything. But it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Like, we know how to Vooch is playing the role that Vooch should play. His shots just haven't been falling. It's been just a bad shooting year for him so far. But we should involve him the way they do. Try to get him started going early. They try to take advantage when he's the trailer on in transition and he gets those open threes. They try to take advantage of it that way. So yeah, I mean that's all it's about. What's the Cavs record again? They're 14 and 12 right now. 14 and 12. But the Miami game will be equal in terms of being depleted because they're missing Jimmy and Bam. Yep, and we should be able to. We need Valentine. Oh, Jesus Christ. Why do y'all want to give me a freaking ulcer? Like, Denzel Valentine? God, man. I'm so glad that motherfucker is not on this team. Like, Denzel, like it's funny because people were saying that we could have got what the damn, who were they comparing him to when we drafted him? I know they were expecting and thinking that we could have gotten it. We had a hell of a player on our hands with Denzel Valentine, and he could have developed into something, but that shit just was trash. Was trash. Vooch and Kobe are inconsistent this season. Yep. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what else to say to that. They're absolutely inconsistent this season. We know why Kobe, right? Because Kobe, first major injury. This was his training camp. This was his offseason. So he's supposed to be inconsistent right now. Sucks that it got derailed again by COVID-19, but he's supposed to be inconsistent. Vooch is the biggest question mark there. Congratulations on 2K. Sorry I wasn't on the live. Oh, bro, you don't have to apologize for missing a live stream, bro. Don't not apologize for that, man. But thank you for that. Thank you for that. I thought they were saying he was going to be the next Draymond Green. That's what it was because they went to the same college, right? And even Draymond was like, he's the guard version of me. That motherfucker sucks. I want Cook to play. Don't get me wrong, especially in a game like this that was well out of hand, especially in a game like this where we clearly weren't defending their bigs very well. I wouldn't have minded to see Cook thrown out there because of his size, right? Marco, we know he still needs to get his body together, but because of Cook's size, I wouldn't have minded at all or been asking myself what the hell Billy Donovan was doing if he did try to play Cook out there. I understand why he didn't, but if he did try to do that just to see if the changeup of looks did anything for us defensively, I wouldn't have minded that. But Billy Donovan he's really protective over that with those rookies, and I don't think we're going to see very much of them. Do you think we can win against Miami? How can we? Come on, man. Yes, we can win. And they said it because we're going to be equally depleted by then. We can definitely win in Miami. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying we're going to march in there and just take it easily, but we can definitely win in Miami. I don't think that's the issue. Yep. Especially with Jimmy Butler and Bam out, right? Those are the two players that can hurt us the worst. So yeah, we should definitely be able to go in there. You got to think against Miami. If Vooch plays better and Levine and Ball play like this, and we have Caruso back, yeah, I think we win that game. I don't think that's an issue. Excited I was excited I was excited because of the comps, right? I didn't know much about Denzel Valentine as a college player, but because of the comps and the fact that he was projected to be a good 3-point shooter and everything like that, we needed 3-point shooting at that time. And then that was the year we won the summer league title and the championship as well. And him and Doug McDermott were out there dropping buckets like crazy, and all that shit went away very quickly. They proved that they weren't that very quickly. Man, listen, Valentine is fucking. I mean, hats off to him to being able to stay in the league, right, and to get another contract. But I don't know if he has another NBA contract when this one's over. You know what? But I honestly, this is just me being transparent here and trying to be fair. I would not be surprised. I don't know remember how old Denzel Valentine is right now, but Denzel Valentine going away and being overseas, I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back and as a player, not great, not a starter or anything, but comes back and it contributes at some point. But we'll see. Also, he's lazy and he's dumb as shit, and his gums get on my fucking nerves. So I would never want to see his face in the NBA again. Vooch put up more bricks than Rich Porter. But hey, he has to have the green light. Glad he kept trying. He'll be all right. He'll catch fire when it counts. Yeah, I agree with that. But he definitely built us a house today. Definitely built us a house. Man, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Who's ever seen but Nikola Vucevic play knows that he doesn't usually start going until February after the All-Star break. Well, let's hope that that's what it is. Tired of Billy playing Lonzo and Levine 40 minutes when the game's out of reach. Yeah, I mean, what they play? They didn't play 40 minutes this game. Well, Lonzo played 39 minutes. Levine played more close to his usual at 35 minutes. But yeah, I mean, he went to the bench about the time you would expect him to with this game being out of reach. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It is what it is. Even if the Bulls lose, this isn't the playoffs. This isn't the end of the season. We're still very much at the onset. We're not even halfway through the season yet. Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. It's okay, people. Houston just beat the Brooklyn Nets. It's not the end of the season. Exactly. That's what it is. It's not the end of the season. Alizé belongs in the G League. Maybe that's the case because he's not playing. And he played great in the preseason. Like, Haize had some really good minutes in the preseason, and I had picked him to possibly be the X factor off the Bulls bench outside of Caruso, is how I paraphrased it. But yeah, and that may be the case. And don't be surprised. Like, I'm not sure. I don't remember what Haize's contract is off the top of my head, but I wouldn't be surprised if he's not back next season. There's some key pieces on this bench that are worth keeping, right? What we know about so far, and this may change over the course of the season. Derrick Jones Jr., keeper. Io, absolutely a keeper. Caruso, absolutely a keeper. Tony Bradley, I like him more if we had another big that played in front of him. But overall, don't be surprised if they get rid of the back end of this bench. Troy Brown Jr., expiring contract at the end of the season. Dotson, Cook, Simonovic, they're all fucking G League players. But yeah, don't be surprised if they're able at like, again, I know we as Bulls fans, we're excited. We have a great team again for the first time. We're talking about them making the Eastern Conference Finals and how far they can go. But don't forget, AK is continually going to improve this team. So what he sees, like the players who don't contribute this season, probably not going to be back next season. And then we're going to bring in some more players that probably can contribute in different ways. So it's not at all ended. Not at all. Not at all. Just check. We beat the Grizzlies twice in 95, 96 year. That dude is capping. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I wanted Wade Baldwin the fourth instead of Denzel Valentine that year. Hey, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Sports Caller, as long as the Bulls play like themselves, we should win that game. Agree with that. Agree with that. Do I still wish? Not really. Not really. He's not nearly the scorer or the shooter. Our offense will look completely different. So no, Vooch opens things up. So let's not check. Do you think we'll start P. Will when he comes? No, I think I said this on my last couple of live streams. I think when Patrick Williams comes back, at the most, he's probably going to play about 15 minutes a game, even in the playoffs. And I think they're going to look at it more of a way of to get him revved back up, and to get him prepared, get him some playoff experience. But I don't expect him to go right back into the starting lineup. Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm just saying I don't expect that to happen. I knew Valentine wasn't shit when he got cooked by Frank Nitti in the Drew League. Absolutely. Evan Mobley going to be a monster when he gets some muscle. For sure, bro. For sure. He's going to be a beast. Beastly. Be on the lookout for that. Bro, why that man was violating that man's gums. Listen, I hate every time that motherfucker smiles, I be like, Jesus, like God really said to you, I'm gonna give you a little teeth to go with your gums, is what God said. like you know how they have the meme where it's sprinkling a little bit of something. He really went overboard with the gums there. He was low on teeth, so he compensated with extra gum in that case. I think most likely Jimmy's out for the Heat game. Yeah, we talked about that already. I'm trying to go to not some of these straightforward ones. Would you rather have Luke Cornett or Tony Bradley Azure backup? Alizé? Is that what you mean by that? Luke Cornett's fucking suck too. So at this point, no. I that motherfucker had to go too. We need to get all the stank off this team, including Denzel Valentine's gums. They all that shit had to go. All that shit had to go, man. But yeah, and you know the thing with this is doing a live stream after a game like this, especially because I'm such a Bulls focused channel. You guys aren't as lively, but I understand like it's not much to analyze in this game. We really know what happened and why it happened in this game, and it sucks. It sucks what the Bulls are going through with COVID. And I'll tell you what, right now, NBA having back-to-backs, NBA getting out the bubble and all this stuff like that. I wonder if this makes them reconsider anything for next season. It's too late to really course correct this season. Hopefully we don't see another big outbreak where any type of shutdowns or anything happen. But the NBA's rush to get back to a full 82 game season, are we seeing the effects of this biting them in the ass? Now, either way, the teams have to play each other, right? But as much contact as what we're seeing, that could have been spaced out a little bit more. It's just an interesting conversation to have. Why you violating him like that? Listen, people that I hate, I talk shit. I talk mad shit. On the contrary, I would give Denzel Valentine the benefit of the doubt. That man had earrings in, and honestly, he was just trying to get in a good sweat and work on his game. Listen, fuck all that. That man got cooked, bro. That man got cooked. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. When you're supposed to be a 3-and-D player and you get cooked in the Drew League, man, fuck that. Fuck that dude. He basically called Denzel a dolphin. A dolphin will probably shoot a better percentage than Denzel Valentine, though. I think some of our players might be back next game. I don't know about Kobe White, but I think Green will probably be back if he didn't test positive. Well, that's the thing. Green went out after Kobe. So Kobe's definitely going to come back before Javonte Green. And then again, I think if Javonte Green would have tested negative by now, he would have been back. So we'll see. We'll see. Key Isaac Epps is in the building. Petty Roosevelt has no chill. Listen, when Petty Roosevelt comes out, it's so funny that like you guys, I don't even remember the first time that it came out on the live stream, but you guys seem to really like Petty Roosevelt. And the funny thing is, like, I call it that after the fact. Like, I didn't create this character of Petty Roosevelt and then started talking shit. I talk shit everywhere in every aspect of my day in life. So I created Petty Roosevelt to distance myself when I do this shit. So just for an example, right? And because this game was so fucking bad, real life. So I for so long I was a manager and in the finance industry. I've since moved into the tech industry, but for the longest part of my career, I was a manager in finance. And I had my own team. I had a team of 12 people. I had my office door. And what I would do is anytime somebody walked in my office without knocking first, I had this bowl of like these Nerf balls, and I would just peg them at people. Even my boss knew if you don't knock before you go into CJ's office, he will hit you with a ball. That's just how I'm just a jokester like that. So people tend to love it. It's worked for me so far in my life. So there you go. Keep up the work, bro. Channel fun as hell. Yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Why Levine don't get foul calls? Billy Donovan got a tech tonight because no foul. I mean, and that's what you need. Look, keep in mind, at one point when Rose wasn't really getting calls, Tom Thibodeau used to go the fuck off and get texts, and then we started seeing that turn around. It's going to come around. In some games, it does come around. I don't know what is going on with the foul calls with Zach LaVine. Like I said, I've theorized Zach or somebody on the Bulls fucked one of the refs' wives, and they just have a vendetta against it. That's what I'm saying. It had to happen that way. It had to happen. I want to see Billy run Bradley with what is okay. Here's the thing, and I thought that at one point too. And while Tony Bradley has shown that he can switch on to guards for very short bursts of time, what that combination isn't that much better defensively. I think I get what you're getting at. If we had a big like a Bobby Porter's that can switch on guards and stay with them a little bit, Joe Kim in his prime, then yes, you can play Vooch with a big like that. But Tony Bradley really gets cooked pretty easily almost anytime he's on a perimeter player. So in the pick and roll, it's going to be even worse right now. So I don't think that Tony Bradley is the player to do what you're talking about doing. Patrick Williams, on the other hand, if he was still here, healthy and playing defense like he did last season, I do think that Vooch and Patrick Williams would have been a pretty good front court together once Patrick Williams got going. We just didn't get to see the perfect version of that. That's what I think. Acme will shock us by going all in. We still have Portland pick again, but the Portland is they're right outside the playoffs, right? If I remember correctly, let me go to the standings real quick. So Portland right now is in 10th, which would be they would qualify for the playing game. So they would have to win the playing game, which we know Dame in playoffs can do that shit, right? They would have to win that playing game then for us to get it. It's still, I don't know how valuable trading that pick is right now, unless Portland is like in the 6th or 7th spot and guaranteed to make the playoffs, right? If that's the case, then I see that pick having more value. It's just by time we get there, we'll be well past the trade deadline. So I don't know. Like, I just don't know. I don't know how valuable that pick really is right now. COVID is definitely Debo driving down the street, pulling up to Craig's house on Friday, asking them what they got on his 40. That's what COVID has done to the Bulls so far. That is absolutely what they did. But guess what? When COVID leaves this Bulls team, we're going to be talking again. My Friday fans will get that. I don't know if everybody in this live stream is going to get that joke. I'm worried that Kobe is inconsistent. He may not impact this team until late. I mean, that's fine. If that's the case, that's fine. The thing with Kobe is, I've said it. After Kobe came back, it was going to be at least a month to 6 weeks before we really got to see what we had in Kobe White. Now that, of course, that's pushed back even further now. What he had like 2 weeks before the COVID thing hit. So he has, when he comes back another month, like it's going to be a while, right? I wouldn't even be surprised if we don't see Kobe really get like we need to see flashes. I'm not saying we should just excuse him playing like shit the whole time. We should see flashes that get more consistent, probably leading up until about February. And then at that point, we'll see what we have in Kobe. Contrary to my ass, Denzel was bumping the big gums at Frank Nitty. He deserved every bucket he got. Absolutely. 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 I feel like people will try to rush back into the league instead of waiting until he's on. Well, that's the thing. He has to be cleared. So let's keep in mind, it's not like a player can go and be like, I'm ready, coach. They have to get cleared medically. And so the Bulls medical staff is going to play very close with Patrick Williams, I believe. So it's not like he can just run that. If it's safe to say that James Harden is Lonzo Ball's son after getting his ass kicked by, listen, the way that Lonzo completely abused James Harden on defense is fucking beautiful to see. Beautiful to see. Beautiful. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it at that. I was going to expound a little bit more, but I'll leave it on that. I got a feeling that when we have our players back, we'll get back on. Yeah, for sure. I mean, that goes without saying. That goes. All right, this is Key Isaac Epps. Not gonna lie, Cavs are a low-key sleeper, even though it's early. I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs will end up fighting for a playoff spot. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if the Cavs get into the playing game, win the playing game, and then give a team a hell of a first series. Depending on the matchup, I'm not saying that they'll win the first series. I don't think they will. I don't think that there's a team I would bet on them beating in the first series, but they can definitely make it interesting and probably more difficult than the team's expecting for it to be. Oh, hey, I'm a conspiracy theorist, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if the NBA, again, full conspiracy theory, if the powers that be will say that, looked at it and was like, damn, these Bulls can really fuck up some shit with betting. We got to fix this. And that's I'm gonna leave it at that. Leave it at that. It's hard to see fouls on Zach when he's 18 feet in the fucking so did I ask this question before? Would you think Harrison Barnes could help us if he gets ball? Oh, Harrison Barnes again, because I know people are like focused on like a more traditional power forward, but Harrison Barnes, I think, would be really for a couple of reasons, right? If he's bought out, I can completely see Harrison Barnes signing with us for the rest of the season, coming to us on maybe a little bit, maybe the mid level, and staying with this team. And then Patrick Williams learning from Harrison Barnes would be a great player for him to learn behind everyone else on this team as well. But that would be, again, I think Patrick Williams will still start over Harrison Barnes if he's 100%. But having Harrison Barnes there as a backup to Pat Williams, if Patrick Williams does go down again, or if Pat Williams isn't being aggressive as we need in some stretches or whatever, to be able to rely on Harrison Barnes, I would love Harrison Barnes on this team if he's bought out. Love it if he's bought out. Matter of fact, I will go to say that right now, of all the buyout candidates that I've talked about, I don't like getting into this type of speculation, but like I've talked about Derek Favors, Tristan Thompson. Out of those, I like Harrison Barnes better than both of those players. We'll match up better with the Heat. Yeah, we talked about that. You think Cleveland cool? I mean, I haven't heard anyone say I'm going to Cleveland for Vic. For sure, man. Now I live in Columbus, Ohio. I'm not from here at all. I've lived here for 4 years, and I hate Cleveland. And I love it when the Cavs lose here. And like when I go to work and shit, well, back when we were going to work in the office was a thing. I used to love especially if the Bulls beat the Cavs or whatever else, and be like, yeah, you motherfuckers. So isn't Dame out and CJ out indefinitely with the collapsed lung? CJ is out indefinitely. Is Dame out as well? Did I miss that? We'll see. We'll see. Key Isaac Epps. Now, Kobe got one loss this year. Unfortunately, it's LeBron. You're goddamn right. You goddamn right. Are you concerned if the Blazers? Well, I don't think they're going to trade Lillard to Eastern Conference team. I don't think they're going to trade Lillard. I don't see that happening personally, but we'll see. I could be wrong. So you think we should remove? So who do you think we should? I mean, right now, Troy Brown Jr. is not going to get another contract with us. He keeps playing like this, even though he is only 22. Alizé is probably not going to be back. Like I just think the writing's on the wall for Alizé. Unless Alizé changes between now and the end of the season just because he's not trusted at all. You got to think with this, right? Even if players still have some potential, if they are not cracking Billy Donovan's rotation, why would you keep them there if you can bring in some people that Billy Donovan does want on this team and will play and that will ease up minutes? So I definitely think Alizé is gone as of right now, right? This can change. As of right now, Troy Brown Jr. is gone, Alizé is gone for sure. Of course, like people in the bench players like Matt Thomas and all of them could or could not be back because you can refill those with other players. You got to keep in mind too, we're expecting Marco to be on the main roster this time next year. So because of that, you have to free up space there. So yeah, I think those players are going to be gone for sure. I feel like we need to trade first. Okay, but that's the thing. Like, this is why I don't get into trade speculation because you say that what shot creator and who's going to take Troy Brown Jr. with the way he's played this season? I'm not saying that some team that 22-year-old lengthy guard. I'm not saying that somebody may not want to take a bet on him, but who? Who? Daniel Gafford will be a lot better than what we have currently. He'll be a lot better than Tony Bradley. But look at the contract Daniel Gafford got. He wasn't long for this team. Harrison Barnes, when he gets hot, becomes I don't know about Michael Jordan, but he definitely. Highly doubt Harrison Barnes gets bought out. They can get a first. Exactly. And that's why I said that. I said that's why I heavily implied that if he were to get bought out. But the way that Harrison Barnes has been playing this season, the way that the Kings have relied on him, and think about it, we got a first round pick for Mirotic. They could absolutely get a first round pick for Harrison Barnes, especially if a contender with the expiring contract and a future first round pick throws something at him. Absolutely. Absolutely. Dame out with abdominal muscle. Oh, see, that worries me for that pick. Worries me with that pick. Oh, wait, I skipped it. Blazers not trailing Lillard. They're trying to get Ben. Listen, and I will say this, and because they'll, I don't know, would they have to give up Anthony Simmons or will it be McCollum? Whatever they give up, if Dame and Ben Simmons being on the same team, I really like that team, and I like it even more because they're not in the Eastern Conference. Marquis, so glad I subscribed. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that. Only thing we're getting for TV. Listen, we may have to give up a bag of chips in that deal. We have to give up a bag of chips in that deal. Um, yeah, yeah. What do you think about getting here? We already used our exception. We used our exception to bring in Stanley Johnson. I had said on my video earlier, I would have liked the Bulls to take a look at Harry Giles, just to see, especially with that. But they brought somebody in who's familiar with the team, who was in training camp with us, which kind of makes sense, especially if you expect or want them to get to the roster, get to contributing on this team as soon as possible. You don't have to worry about him getting up to speed with like kind of being familiar with the guys and the coach. So it makes sense why they did that. Were you on the Buddy Hill train that was going around at the time? Buddy Hill train. No, I've never been a big person on Buddy Hill at all. You think Adam Silver would want Chicago to be good? Whenever we're good, they market us hard. Yeah, I mean, that's why I labeled it a conspiracy theory because yeah, you would think that. You would think that they would want their big market teams to be good. I really don't like how the garbage time is still 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but I know this exactly. You said it all there. I'm pretty sure it'll be CJ in the trade for the contract purposes. Okay, so yeah. So Anthony Simmons, Damon Lillard, Ben Simmons, and would they have to give up Nurkic too? Do you think they'll have to do that? Let's just take a look at the Portland Trailblazers roster, real quick. Covington, maybe. I don't know what they would have to give up, but it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see if that deal goes down. It'd be really interesting to see. The haters and critics be jinxing my Chicago Bulls tonight. They are the best team in the Eastern Conference. Tony Bradley playing good until tonight. Fuck the Chicago Bulls haters. Hey, I don't know if this is your first time in my stream, but when the trolls come in here trying to troll the Chicago Bulls, Petty Roosevelt comes out and I get their ass. So Anthony, big supporter of the channel here. Even though some of his takes, I will say this: some of Anthony's takes are crazy, are crazy, are crazy. But I understand him because he's a diehard Bulls fan. This game is the reason you don't trade your young talent. Kobe White would have been real nice tonight. Yeah, if his shots were falling, absolutely, absolutely. They shouldn't want Nurkic because they have Draymond and Embiid. It's true, true. You're right there. You're right there. I don't know, but Stanley Johnson isn't going to play a lot. So I mean, if for an end of bench player, yeah, you could do a lot. You can do lot worse. Tough loss for the Bulls. I expect them to bounce back and win more games. The Bulls have been able to respond really well after each loss with more. Yeah, I mean, we understand why and what's going on here. We completely understand what's going on. This is an interesting question, right? Because as much as I like Derrick Jones Jr. and how he's coming on, what do you think the Bulls would have looked like with Nance instead of Derrick Jones Jr.? I think that of course our hole at the four would be filled in, but the thing is that Derrick Jones Jr. is a lot younger than Larry Nance. Um, he's on a longer contract, I think, as well. And I really do like Derrick Jones Jr. and his chance to continue to develop on this team for sure. I'm sorry I keep drinking water. Look, I've dropped. This will be my 6th video in 2 days. And in that time, 2 live streams. Like the videos I do for the channel usually aren't long, but my voice is killing me. My throat is killing me. I'm so happy that we have 2 days off and I don't have to do live streams for a while. Not because I don't want to interact with you guys, but because my throat, my voice, I don't know if I sound that much different to you guys, but it sucks, man. It sucks. But I push through it because I have to build this up. I'm continuing to build this channel. I'm not going to stop doing the live streams. So I don't talk a lot in my real life. So that's why this is happening with my throat and my voice. But I keep going through it so I can work that muscle, so to say. Let's see. I kind of lost my place here. Is Portland if Portland is as bad as they are right now, I would love to have Larry Nance Jr. to help give us some size and defense. Yeah, for sure. What is Larry Nance's contract? Anybody who knows? Because what is the possibility that he may get bought out? Again, people who follow me a lot know that I don't like doing a lot of these speculation type videos on specific people because it's a rabbit hole, right? You can work yourself into a rabbit hole of talking about who could be available if this, if that, if that, if this, if this. Thomas would have been nice for tonight. Losing Matt Thomas is worse than you think with all these players out. He's a floor. No, I mean, would that be he's a floor spacer on paper, but his shot was sucked ass in the game that we saw him in. So I mean, at the end of the day, shots have to be falling for you to be a floor spacer. What? I don't know who that's about or what it's about. I missed something. I clearly missed something in the chat. Bro, I hear the name Stanley Johnson. I picture that crazy uncle that be at cookouts. Fair enough. Zach and Vooch once again didn't show. Listen, Solid Snake, you were muted on the channel for a while because sometimes you just go on these crazy ass rants. Trade Zach. First of all, listen, it's late. It's not even that late. It's 10:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Stop doing crack before midnight. Stop it, please. I ask for the heavens and the gods above. Lay off the cocaine, the bath salts, and the PCP and the Quaaludes. Stop doing it. Like, come on, man. First of all, your name's Solid Snake. You already sound like that right there. You coming in without the benefit of the doubt. Then you say Zach didn't show up. Trade Zach while you can. Listen, trade your mama. Don't trade Zach LaVine. Don't do it. Don't do it. Trust me, I worked at a call center. You got to drink water. Your vocal cords will get stronger. I've been there. Yeah, and I have too. Wow. So that's what I'm doing. Because like people don't believe me. I literally do not talk a lot in real life. Like my best friends have always described me as serial killer quiet because I don't talk. So like having this channel, doing these live streams, I know I have to build it up. So that's why I'm pushing through it. So yeah. I bet you, listen, Cap, the thing is, like with the Bulls win that we won last game with the depleted roster, I guarantee you now that we lost to the Cavs, the national media is going to be like, the Bulls, are they actually legit? They lost to the Cleveland Cavilers. They're rivals. This. I hate that shit, man. The thing with the national media is, and the thing that I've noticed and why I don't really trip off of it anymore is that the national media picks these narratives to have for certain teams, right? And then no matter what you do contrary to it, they will never back down off that narrative until the next season. So they're going to hold on to the narratives of the Bulls not being legit. They're going to report on it like they have been. The Bulls can go on a playoff run and make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and if they lost 4-1 in those finals, they'll be like, see, we told you guys the Bulls weren't ever really legit. They were faking throughout the whole season, rather than talk about all the things that the Bulls have overcome. The fact that the Bulls ranked so high in defense, where people thought we were going to be terrible in defense. So that's just the national media. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. The RC Bandit is about to get banned. Yep, I'm putting you in timeout, bro. Bye. Sorry. You got to go, man. You got to go. Derrick Jones Jr. is a better player than Larry Nance. The total disrespect that assessment, seriously kidding me right now. I know. No, I did, again, that's not what I said. And see, this is where fans of teams, like, they hear this little thing that's not what they think, and they try to make it seem like it's slander or hate. Listen to what if you're going to respond to something what was said, listen to what was said. Nobody said that Derrick Jones Jr. Is a worse player than Larry Nance. Nobody's saying that Larry Nance is nice for this team. For this team and what we see in Derrick Jones Jr., he has more potential than Larry Nance Jr. does. Now, Larry Nance would fill a hole that we have on this team, but come on, man. Come on. It's not like nobody's breaking down the door for Larry Nance Jr. or Derrick Jones Jr. for that matter. Ain't no way he says trade Zach before it's too late. He got to go. Listen, Solid Snake be tripping sometimes, bro. Like I will say this though, honestly, and I try to be fair with this. There are times where he comes with things and it's like, okay, you made a point. But like with a lot of people in the chat, he picks these certain narratives and then runs with it, and then it is what it is. Like I said, trade your mama. Late to the stream, but not sure if you went over this, but what do you see tonight that created a lack of play? Overall, the team just didn't play with much energy. The team didn't move the ball around. Vooch was shooting. Seemed like, I don't know if that was Billy D calling it. Vooch just trying to shoot himself out of it, but they just didn't have it. It was just another game and a night where they did not have it. They did not have it at all. Next game, we really have to get Nikola Vucevic going early, especially with Dwayne Dedman not being able to guard him really good. I mean, we'll see. Oh, he's out of here. We got that spammer out of here. We got that out of here, man. So yeah, we won't be dealing with that too much, man. He was putting time out for 5 minutes. We'll see what happens. If not, he'll get blocked if he doesn't come back with the right thing. You need an admin for, yeah, I agree. I probably need to do that. I just, with how we do these late streams, I just don't know who would be able to do it every night. But maybe I do need to look into that as we continue to grow. That should mean they had the Bulls 12th in the East. That should tell you how much about it. I'm writing you. No, you're on crack, and you know it. Zach LaVine fades when the pressure's on. Did you not see the last game in the third quarter with Zach LaVine? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out. Like, that's the thing. Like, people think that they're so smart because they say things like Zach has never faded. There have been times where he run out of gas. There have been times where he didn't make smart decisions because he was still learning how to win, but faded when the pressure's on? No. Not at all. Not at all. I feel like your dad made it fake. Did you have abandonment issues? Is that what's happening here? I don't know. 80% chance for a W. That's what keys to beating the Heat for sure. For sure. National media sucks. Bill Simmons finally came around and said the Bulls are championship contenders. I hate hearing about the Lakers. And I talked about that on an episode and video that I did today. Bill Simmons and Ernie Johnson saying that the Bulls actually are contenders. That's for sure. That's for sure. I don't know what that is in regards to. First of all, Brandon Peck, listen, please spell players' names right and stop trying to sound it out. Like, are you sitting there? Are you using the tap method when you try to spell it? Like, do you watch this team? You should know it's not even that hard to spell Mirotich's name. What is that? What is that? The national media is just full of egotistical people in echo chambers who think they know it all, but have consistent. Absolutely, you're right. You're right about that. You're right about that. Stop arguing with people that name themselves after video game. Listen, yeah, people really be like the best and the worst thing about the internet, right? Are our abilities to connect, but it's always the people who hide behind, like, don't have their actual faces, don't have their actual names or anything, that they don't ever back up anything they say with actual statistics or anything. It's just let me make a wild statement. If you respond to that statement, anything that I don't think, you're tripping into this, the name calling starts there. You just got to watch people like that. I think Robert Covington would be a great fit. He adds even more defense. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of people who would be great fits on this team. But I guess what the deals, what do they bring in, what do you have to give up to get them, and things like that. I really do think the Bulls are going to focus more on the buyout market than the trade market. That's my opinion. Miritich fam, yeah, I can't believe he spelled it that way. Can't believe he spelled it that way. I vote Ricky Fontaine for admin. Absolutely. Listen, Ricky Fontaine is one of my biggest subscribers here, like most consistent, and I appreciate him a lot. Like there are a few. Key Isaac Epps, Ricky Fontaine, Cap as well. Cap Lives is always in my live streams, always in the comments, has great takes, is honest and fair and consistent with all this stuff. Those three, if I had to pick admins, like if I just got anybody, would definitely be the admins that I would look into because they support me. MC Season as well. Don't want to forget him. Shay as well. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, so I don't want to kill it at all. Those are my guys in here, man. And I don't take them for granted at all. Young Black, we beat before the season. Just the lack of players was the cause, for sure. Appreciate you, bro. If Ricky cool with being an admin, I support it. We'll talk because that's the way that it looks like it's going to be going. Bulls really don't have much to be very active in trade market for a difference maker. Buyout makes more sense by my absolutely, and I understand why the trade conversations happen so much. The Bulls have a hole. It's natural to think who can we trade to bring in that hole. But unless you're talking about giving up somebody in the core, and again, Patrick Williams is not going to be traded. Whether you think, whether I think, whether anybody thinks or doesn't believe in Patrick Williams' long-term progression here, the front office absolutely believes in Patrick Williams. The front office believes in Patrick Williams. Look at where they drafted him. They could have traded down and still got a Patrick Williams. AK and Eversley believe in Patrick Williams and they want to develop Patrick Williams. They're not going to give up on Patrick Williams this soon to fill a hole in power forward that can be filled by a veteran that's bought out. So because of that, it's not going to be a lot that we do. It's not going to be a lot that we do on the trade market. I don't feel like it. I feel as though we could win the championship with the team we have. We just need to be more consistent. Well, we do need to do something with the bench scoring and the power forward position. We do need to do something there, but I mean, we can definitely go far. Shay, I appreciate it, man. When I support people, I go hard. Ask Ricky Fontaine. I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. Like I said, for somebody, I started this YouTube channel not expecting to get really much out of it, and just wanted to talk about my favorite team. But the community, like that's the thing. When I did start and I started gaining some views and gaining some subscribers, I wanted to build a community. And I've said it before. We're like a family here at this point. And I know I see you guys in other Bulls channels and stuff too, and you guys love the team. That shows me how much you guys love the team. But the fact that how much you guys support me, we've built a community and a family here in 4 months, and I don't take that for granted at all. These comments are really crazy and outlandish. Stupid talking about trades. Zach, listen, they're. So the thing with this is, and the thing that I've learned more as I live stream, and I talk shit back just because I'm a shit talker, but people try to get them like I'm gonna use a wrestling term. I don't know if you guys watch wrestling. I don't really watch it anymore, but I used to be really big into watching wrestling. They try to get themselves over by having these wild takes, or they think it's gonna get heat. They just want attention, and they think that that's the way to do it. And it's unfortunate, right? Because more times than not, like we've had as many as like 300 some people in here in this chat live concurrently, and we've had really good conversations for the most part. Now, yeah, we get some trolls and some spammers or whatever else, but we have really good conversations. It just really sucks when somebody comes in trying to get the attention, trying to get themselves over, rather than just engage. Because the thing is that we have such a good audience here. We have such a good community here that even if he did have a more risque take, right, or a take that's not as popular in the Bulls community, more than likely a lot of you guys would be willing to have that conversation and point out with it and talk to them about it. It just sucks that we have people like that try to come in here and get themselves over. People shouldn't panic because we lost. We're basically down so many guys due to health and safety protocol and injuries. Also, the Cavs are not exactly a horrible team. Exactly. Again, they rank higher in defense than we do. So again, I heard you talk about bench scoring. What do you think about Aaron Gordon? If we can, Aaron Gordon, shit, if we can get Aaron Gordon, absolutely. And I've talked about Eric Gordon. I've said as many people talk about Christian Wood. I have said before, if the Bulls do trade Kobe White and whoever else in the Christian Wood deal, if you can get Eric Gordon as well, I know the contracts are way too high for it to match, but I would love Eric Gordon on this team as a bench scorer. I would love him on this team as a bench scorer for sure, for sure. Pro wrestling terminology, LL shot, we will bounce back. Hey, yeah, I was heavy into pro wrestling for a long time. A long time. I fell out of pro wrestling around the time that Adam Cole and Ricochet were brought up to the main roster on Raw. That's kind of when I fell out. It's really not that long ago. Is when I fell out of wrestling. I watched some AEW, I watched some WWE sometimes as well too, like when nothing else is on. But I'm not as heavily engaged in it as what I once was. So I was actually on a wrestling podcast. If you guys know the Hameen Media Group, I'd contributed to a lot of their podcasts at one point as well. So they're a wrestling focused podcast network. I love wrestling. A lot of people in chats try to get cheap heat for sure, for sure, for sure. If our record was the opposite of what it is right now, to understand the trade talk, but we are literally shorthanded and we're still a top 2 team in the East and project. We are on pace to win 54 to 55 games. And yeah, that pace can change a lot, right, over the course of the season, but that's where we are right now. A top 10 ranked team in offense and defense, that's not nothing to shy out at all. For the bench, we only need to trade if Kobe's anything like it was. Well, what the thing is you can say we need to trade Troy Brown Jr., but what do you really get for him? You're not getting much for a player like that. You're not. Now, if the Bulls are willing to eat up the contract and just cut him, okay. But then, I mean, at that point, too, who are you going to go out and sign? So might as well hold on to him. You can include him in a trade deal. He's an expired contract if something does go down, but we'll see. That loss was just a fluke. Our bench sucked, but if we were healthy, exactly. I agree with you there. Easy W. What's up, fam? I love the show. How many All-Stars do you think we have? 2. DeMar and Zach for sure. Vooch could have been an all-star had he not had the slow start to the season. This start, I don't know if he can overcome it enough to be an all-star. I also have said Lonzo, he doesn't score enough to be an all-star. Now, I'm not saying he needs to score more, but I'm saying traditionally when you look at point guards making the all-star team, they need to score more. Or if they're a defensive-minded point guard, they need to be getting over 10 assists a game. And that's not happening either. So I don't see Lonzo being an all-star this season, but I definitely think Lonzo was an all-star before it's all said and done while he's on this Bulls team. You need to watch AW Auntie. I guarantee you would fall back in love with pro wrestling. It's not. I still love pro wrestling in a lot of ways. It's just I don't have time for it anymore. And so because of like something had to get cut out. Like I know you guys don't know this because I don't talk about it a lot on the channel, but I own a photography company and I make short films. On top of that, I have my other podcast that's built around Black culture and mental health and self-help and conspiracy theories. I have that podcast that really takes a lot of my time. Actually, that podcast before COVID, I went on a 3-city live show tour and I sold out every but the first leg of that tour. And so I have other things that I'm really, really passionate and involved in. And fortunately, pro wrestling was just the one that I'm not going to stop watching basketball. I'm not going to stop doing photography. I'm not going to stop making short films. I'm damn sure not going to stop the podcast to do for Black culture and mental health and stuff like that. Wrestling was the thing that just I don't have time to watch it like I used to. I don't have time to dedicate it, but I do love pro wrestling. 54, 55 wins. We're going to be 58. Listen, Key Isaac Epps. It's funny how Key Isaac Epps said that in one of these live streams, and now it's like become our mantra, right? 58 wins. Like if the Bulls get to 58 wins, man, it's going to be crazy. Listen, no, when Jackson's not the best player on the team, is DeMar. Again, if you can say that you're only relying on stats, and at that point, then you're not a real basketball fan. You're a spectator, and you need to just spectate. Then stop trying to talk about it because you don't have the grasp. It's more than just points. When you look at it, I'm not even gonna justify your response. The fact that you took that long to respond to it, tell me you are absolutely trying to get yourself over. And I'm gonna stop giving you the platform. That's the last comment I'm reading from you. Have fun. Shay, people bagging on Nikola Vucevic, but watch what I tell you. Come February, he's going to snap. Believe me when I tell you, I've been watching Orlando Magic games for a long time. Hey, I definitely hope that you're right. I definitely hope that you're right there. Definitely. Troy Brown Jr. is nothing but a throw-in, fit for a trade. No way we get a one-on-one. Exactly. Nobody's gonna get that. Nobody's gonna just want Troy Brown Jr. Cap knows what's up. Yeah. See, again, that's that family that we're building here. You think we'll get a longer win streak than 4 this year, and what number of yes? I mean, anything's possible. When you look at teams going on like 10 game, 12 game winning streaks, the thing is that we have like what again, Patrick Williams injury, right? To start the season. A couple of injuries back to back to slow down. Then we had Zach's thumb. Then we had Vooch with COVID. Then we had a stretch of getting everybody back for a little while, getting back people in rhythm. Then Vooch with COVID. And then we've known what we've had since then. So I think it can happen, but we need to first get a solid, excuse me, I'm sorry, a solid month of these players just being healthy, just being healthy, just being healthy. I meant to say, watch a. I figure that's what you meant. I figure that's what you meant, bro. You're good. You're good. You're good. Man, wait, you got a photography, 2 podcasts, do MMA, conspiracy theory. Listen, and that's not even it. So I own a podcast network, and again, I try to do this because because doing sports and a team specifically, you have a built-in audience. So I never have wanted anybody to feel like I'm being disingenuous with covering the Bulls to try to get or plug my other shows. But I own a podcast network where I contribute to a lot of different podcasts. My main solo podcast is the one that I do for Black culture, mental health, self-help, all that stuff. I have a film podcast that I do. I have a what else? I have a hip hop culture podcast that I do. I own a photography and short film company, and I had a short film that won 3 short film festivals last year. So yeah, I do a lot of stuff. I do, and I still have an actual full-time job. So yeah, I do a lot of shit. I feel like the Bulls fans are just freaking out right now. All-Star break hasn't even come. We're not even close to All-Star break when you think about it. Guys are ready to trade I mean, it happens. They're fans for a reason. They're fans for a reason. And that usually that comes with passion. Now, sometimes if you don't have that passion focus, it can go all over the place. So while yes, I don't agree with a lot of the fans do make knee-jerk reactions. They overreact to players having bad stretches and bad games. I understand it, right? I'm not one that does that, but I understand it because it usually comes from a place of just being passionate. That's where it comes from. So I try to understand it the best that I can. If I say if this team is healthy, we can definitely get a 10, 15 game streak. Jesus, that is a nice streak, but hey, we'll see. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Michael Cruz 100% agrees. Blah. What does blah stand for something? Or is that just your username? One good thing about the COVID outbreak is that it's happening now, not April or May. That's a good point there. Trent Baker, how about Tristan Thompson for the buyout? I would love that. If no what, you got to wait to see who else is bought out. But let's say when it happens, Tristan Thompson's the only one that's bought out. Then yeah, I would like that as well. Drop your links in the channel so I can watch sometimes. Definitely, bro. I got you. So hopefully January that month, and at Shea Wright as well. I'm predicting 10 to 12. Yeah, I think they can do that for sure. What is your opinion on Tristan Thompson for bio? Also love your videos. Thank you, Trent. Yeah, I don't spam with the same question. I was gonna get to it, but yeah, I like Trent. I like the idea of Tristan Thompson. Even a Hiller chamber that like one from DBZ. Listen here, LeBron would be in that mother. He would live in that motherfucker. And so yeah. What's the name of your Black culture mental health podcast? I love the support. It's called The Awakened Soul. Let's see if I can grab a link real quick. It's more so I do drop YouTube videos, not consistently there. That's why I never thought I'd be able to crack YouTube here, because I've been dropping videos on that YouTube channel for like a year and I get like single digit views. So I but YouTube was never my focus. I'm a podcaster, not a YouTuber. Well, now I'm a YouTuber because of this channel, and I've learned through doing this. But so yeah, it's never been hugely successful with the YouTube side of things, but it does have a YouTube channel if that's your preferred way. I'll drop a link in it for now. I told myself I'll never do this, but since it came up naturally, I'll go ahead and do it so you guys can find it if you're interested. If you want to support me in different ways, I'm getting the link now. All right, there it goes. All right, let's move on. Michael Cruz. It's just scared of the league that even with all this lineup inconsistencies, COVID issues, injuries, that the Bulls are this good. Plus, they have a lot of new. It's just absolutely, and that's the thing that people are forgetting too. A team with 13 players that weren't on the season to start, weren't on the roster to start last season, and most of these players coming in this season, to be able to come together and to put together a team that is top 10 in offense and defense, and we still can learn each other. We still can get better. We still can get and build more chemistry. We're still figuring out the best way to use everybody on offense. The league absolutely should be scared. Absolutely. Absolutely. Talking about your other ventures is cool. I don't think it comes off as disingenuous. I just really, I like, again, admittedly, I'm probably in my head a little bit too much about it, but I just really try to focus on it. That's it. Try to focus on what it is. Do you think the Bulls trade for a power forward? And stuff? Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bulls trade for a small forward slash power forward more than the center, because Billy Donovan's going to play them wherever the hell he wants, is what he's showing. Blas is the nickname. Oh, well, I didn't mean in real life. I meant like if Blas stands for something like Bull. I don't know what the fuck it would stand for. Don't get me to lying. I find it funny that LeBron was in health and safety protocols for 3 days, but DeMar is in it for over a week. Again, LeBron does have some pull, but he probably tested negative those 2 times back to back. That's probably what his tweet was about, that something fishy is going on, because he had that first negative test. Then he got the second one, was able to come back. So we'll see. Ricky Fontaine, I just subscribed. I'm quick. I appreciate you, bro. Key Isaac Epps, I subscribed already. I appreciate y'all, man. Unlike the Knicks, for real, when you're talking about it, we are what the Lakers were supposed to be. Ugh. I see what you did there. I see what you did there. I'm not mad at it. Shay, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? I just turned 35 on Sunday. Just turned 35 on Sunday. I was born in December 1986. So yeah, I was just turned 35. I was going to do a special like live stream thing for my birthday, but that didn't happen. So it was my birthday. I think I was highly intoxicated. About as intoxicated as I'm going to get if we hit 58 wins and Key Isaac Epps was correct. About Ricky Fontaine is not my name. I wouldn't be surprised. Haize is not my actual name, if you guys don't know. TJ Warren, Jeremy Grant, Miles Turner. Again, those are all trade targets more than buyout targets. And I don't know if the Bulls are going to be giving up assets for that. Positions mean nothing on nothing at all. Nothing. Nothing. That's why, like, honestly, I read something, and I don't do the whole trade speculation thing, but I read something that like Kyle Anderson, I think was it from the Grizzlies? And I'm like, considering like he played some point guard, like that would be a player that Billy Donovan would use at all 5 positions. So Shay, I'm born in 1996. My birthday is February 7th. My mom's birthday is February 5th. 1996, you were born. Damn, I'm 10 years older than you. That's crazy, man. But shout it out. I thought it was you like 28. Damn. Listen, I take care of my skin. Like if I show my mom's 62, and if I showed you guys a picture of my mother, you would think me and her are the same age. So I have really good genes. I'm lucky enough to come from a family that ages very well. Like sometimes me and my mom are out and people literally think we're siblings. That's how young my mom looks. So yeah. I've always said I hope that I get her aging genes for sure. Like I'm not bald at all. I have a full head of hair. Usually in the winter, I let my hair grow out some, and I haven't this year. So you guys may see that over the course of the winter. But yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. That's what I'll say. I'm old, but not. What was I gonna say? I'm not a Thundercat, but I'm not an old head either. So there you go. Knows the team doesn't deal with size very well. Pacers are another example. Really depends on Vooch's play to this. Well, the team honestly has dealt with size pretty well over the course of the season. When you really look at it, even the players with size that have scored big numbers on us, look at the efficiency numbers. So they do better than what you would think they would be able to do. A lot of that is Devontae Green's heart. A lot of that is the fact that Caruso and Caruso and Lonzo can rotate on anyone, especially Lonzo guards for sometimes. But I agree with you. We still do need it. Hello, you damn near look 26, no cap. I appreciate it. But if I showed you guys my mother, I find a way to show you guys my mom at some point. You guys would be like, wow. My real name is in the Discord. Ricky Fontaine comes from Martin TV series. Somebody looked me up on YouTube, and that ish was weird to me. Oh, I feel you. Juju knows hoops, my brother. Happy belated birthday, brother. Great content. Keep grinding. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you for sure. Billy would run someone like Penny 1 through 5. Definitely. I'm 40 and look like a child. So damn, you're 40, bro. Damn. Let me go back to this. Thank you for the super chat. And Juju, I know we talked about recording together tonight, and I forgot about this live stream, so I apologize, bro. I'm going to text you as soon as I get off this. No, wait, today's Wednesday. We're supposed to record tomorrow. See, I may not look my age, but my memory is fucking shot. So yeah, no, we're supposed to go tomorrow, so we should be good. We should be good. We should be good. I subscribe. What worries you the most on the Bulls? What worries me is the lack of adjustments coming out of the third. Those flat third quarters really worry me, especially in the playoff in playoff series against a coach that may be a better X and O coach than Billy Donovan. The lack of offensive rebounding scares me as well, because that's second chance points that we don't get a lot of. In the zone, how the Bulls attack. We haven't seen that a lot lately because the Bulls have been so depleted. Teams haven't gone to it, but also the zone. Because again, I'm thinking playoff series. Those things definitely worry me. Juju make dope videos on the ball. Listen, I've said this before. Flight Sports TV, Juju knows hoops, and there's another channel that interacts sometimes with me in this. Literally, only make videos on the ball brothers. Well, Juju does more than that, but it was so surprising to me because again, before I started being a YouTuber, I didn't really watch a lot of YouTube. That there are whole channels built around these three brothers, this family, right? And not even necessarily just their teams, just the family. And it's like, it just makes you realize that if you're a true content creator and you are something passionate about something, there's a lane for anybody here. There's a lane for anybody on this platform. I think we can handle the lack of size if we don't turn the ball over for sure. And we get in those back. We got to get back to playing in those passing lanes. Got to get back to that. 1998, January 7th. And I'm the same way with my mom. People think she's my sister. Oh, man, that shit used to happen to me all the time. And it used to be uncomfortable as shit for me and my mom to go out to dinner and somebody be like, oh, you guys are a cute couple. And I'm like, nasty. That's nasty ass shit. Ass shit. I think some of our guys have shown that they can play against bigs this year. I agree with you. I agree with you there. Would you like to see Troy Baxter Jr. play? No. I think he's in the G League for a reason. That fucked up that we lost and you're going to the next game. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry. I read that wrong. Again, old age, Retribution Brown. I read that wrong. I apologize. That it's fucked up that we lost. And are you going to the going to next game? No, I'm not going to the next game. No, not physically, at least, not physically. Zone kind of disappeared once Vooch started hitting shots and he hits people on passes. Yeah, that and if the Bulls hit the three. And the thing is that the zone, when teams go to the zone, it's built just to stop Zach and DeMar, right? So it's basically built if they can pass or make an extra pass and people move without the ball, there's going to be easy offense. So you need players like Lonzo, Vooch to be hitting shots. Kobe, if he's out there with some of the starters, you need that to happen. And yeah, we can definitely get it. I guess I'm the only 2000. Juju, you're a two. How? I've never asked you, Juju. How you're a 2000s baby? Damn, bro. Damn. I think the buyout is most realistic instead of trading for Turner, even though I'd love to have him. But I personally think all we need is someone who, somebody said in the live stream, and it really made sense, is that remember when Kurt Thomas was on this team, we need a player like that, a Taj Gibson when he first started descending on the team, somebody like that. We don't need these stars or whatever else, like because you have to give up too much for it. The Bulls don't need that, and I understand why people go to thinking who's the best player we can get to fill the hole, but we don't really need that. We need a veteran that's solid and can play well. That's what we need. Damn, people making LiAngelo Ball videos. Wow. Yes, bro. Yes, people are making Jello videos, and I argue with people all the time. I don't see it for him, not yet, but it is what it is. Bro, growing up, people could not, my friends could not come to my house. I would not let them come to my house. Not at all. Not at all. Would not let them come to my house. I like the hoodie or shirt. I'm trying to get one like that. Where you get it? Listen, I've had this now for 2 years, I think. 2 years, I think ago, I bought this. And I most of my Bulls merch, I just get it from ChicagoBulls.com. Like I don't go anywhere special. Some things I get from Amazon, but it's always kind of fishy there. But most of the stuff I get from Chicago, like I have like 4 t-shirts coming. They had a sale going on the other day, Cyber Monday, I think it was, and I ordered like 4 or 5 more shirts. Like I have so if I and I think I start when I started the Bulls channel, I wear a different Bulls shirt for every video. And I think I made it through like my first 15 videos without doubling up on Bulls shirts. And that's not even counting now that it's cold hoodies and everything. I have so much Bulls merchandise, it's fucking ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Do, 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 do. Bro, you're 17? Wow, man. Wow. People were talking about Miles Turner, but let's face it, Miles Turner is more of a center, and we don't need a center unless you want to get rid of Nikola Vucevic. I mean, I think that they can play together, but again, it's not even worth comment because I don't think it's going to happen. What you taking Alizé Johnson? Every time I see him play, he crashes the boards, but just goes back up to get blocked and turns the ball over instead of yeah. And I've said that before. I've theorized that for a while. Is that the reason why we don't see more Alizé Johnson is just because he's not grasping the offensive or defensive schemes well. Yes, he plays with a lot of energy. Yes, he goes after boards. Yes, he tries to block shots. But you have to do more than that. You have to actually go out there and be a part of the offensive scheme. You have to know how to do things, and he must not be getting that too well, and that's what's keeping him from getting more minutes on this team. I think that's what I think is happening. Trade Levine, Kobe, etc. After a few bad games is recency bias. That's why I don't listen to a handful of so-called NBA analysts. I feel you. That's why I don't listen to a lot of YouTube channels or watch some YouTube channels either. Retribution Brown is a 2000s baby as well. Come on, man. Come on, bro. Y'all young, man. I'm 2002, bro. 2000 gang, stand up. Damn, bro. Damn, I did not realize that. But that's what's up. That's what's up, man. I did not know you were only 19, Juju. But you know what I will say is that the way that I will say this, the way that you're able to talk about basketball, especially like having done episodes with you now, is way above where I was at 19. Like 19, I think for me, it was as when I first started like really paying attention to more than just like I watched games, right? But really starting to understand the game a little bit better probably didn't happen to me until about 23, I think. So wait. That's not the comment I wanted to go to. Amanda Potter, VOI. I don't know what that means. I know what FYI means. What's VOI means? Somebody hit me to what VOI means. JJ Ortiz, 1994 baby in here. I'm hearing 35 and 40. I feel young as fuck. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Voice baritone. Is that what that means? So are they saying my voice is baritone? I don't know what my voice is. I don't know. I can smell the Similac on your voice, as our generation used to say. I don't is Similac even still a thing? I don't even know. I don't even know. I swear people like Nikola Vucevic kind of irritates me on the defensive, and you guys are 7 feet tall and don't know how to defend. The realm don't block shots, but just defend the rim. Let me be 7 feet tall. I mean, everybody can't have every skill set. Um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. I don't know what the hell RC Bennett's talking about. I wish I did, but I don't know. But all right. Oh, is that the spammer? He's back. Oh yeah, bro, you gotta go. You're back gone. He's gone just like that. Don't even worry about it. He had to get the hell up out of here. Had to get up out of here. I ain't got time for that shit. Do 2001 D Rose and the color red got me into the Bulls. Yeah, I think I've told this story before. I got into the Bulls because my dad's from Chicago, so that's how I got into the Chicago Bulls. Born and raised Chicago Bulls fan, born and raised Chicago sports fan, and it's been a long time. Like I thought I'd never see the Cubs win a title. I got to see that. Got to see the Bulls. So the Bears make a Super Bowl, even though I never thought that they were going to win it. But so hey, it is what it is. Just told that story. So yeah, grew up a Chicago Bulls fan, born and raised. Like that's literally all I did. Michael Cruz says the bandit is back. Yeah, I got his ass up out of here. I got him up out of here. Do you think that if Derrick Rose had a AK as a GM, he would be a champ? Oh, I mean, yeah. Well, let's not forget that they did a very good job of building that team around Derrick Rose. They took a lot of pieces. Ronnie Brewer, Kyle Korver at the time. Like Kyle Korver started to be more, but at the time he was just looked at as like this white kid who shot 3-pointers and was pretty good at it. They and Carlos Boozer, who was on the back end of his career, they got him after they couldn't get any other power forward. And he ended up contributing for a while, drafted Taj Gibson. They built a pretty good team around Derrick Rose. They did probably about the best that they could. Their biggest problems was they couldn't ever find more shooting to be around him consistently. They didn't find that starting shooting guard. Rip Hamilton came in at one point, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have much problems with how they built the team around him. Now, after that, after Derrick Rose's injury, as that team started going down, keep in mind, they still made the playoffs those 2 years. We were waiting to figure out what was going on with Derrick Rose. So they built a pretty good team. It was when Jimmy started to ascend. And that trend, I think if we had AK during the time where Jimmy was rising and Derrick Rose was still trying to figure it out, I do trust that they would have been able to do a better team around Jimmy. But around the Derrick Rose era, they did pretty good. They did pretty good. Imagine being a Bulls fan in Detroit in 1987. You were a Bulls fan in 87 and you didn't get shot? Bro, hey, I got a whole new respect for you, man. By the way, what's the deal with Scotty now? Listen, Scotty's going through some shit, bro. Scotty is definitely going through some shit. Definitely going through some shit. Derrick would have been a champion if LeBron wasn't in the East at the time. You got a point there. Definitely got a point there. Literally, the Heat were the only team that were going to beat the Bulls that year. I think they would have probably beat the Mavericks that year because I just don't know what they would have done with Derrick. Yeah. No, they don't need to go for Miles Turner again. All right, let me ask you this, Jay. I'm gonna put this to you. Who are you trading for Miles Turner? A realistic trade. Don't give me no Troy Brown Jr. or Kobe White for Miles Turner. And the Bulls aren't trading Patrick Williams, so you can't use Patrick Williams. Create a deal that the Pacers accept for Miles Turner based off that. Give me one. Yeah, I think I already read that one. Facts. Rip Hamilton wasn't in his prime anymore. Jimmy still rolled the bench at the time, and they didn't have Ben Gordon anymore. And remember how fast Ben Gordon's career fell? Like Ben Gordon went from having one of his best seasons with the Bulls that year to signing with the Detroit Pistons to being out of the league 2 or 3 years later. That's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, we made the right decision. And the thing is, when you go back and look at what they made during that time. Now they started making way worse deals after that, but letting Luau go at the time they did ended up being the right deal. Not re-signing Carlos Boozer ended up being the right deal. Not re-signing Ben Gordon ended up being the right deal. So they made some very smart deals in that time. Once Gar Forman came in and took over the GM role, that's when things started going down. That's why I personally blame Gar more than Pax. But either way, they both had to get their ass up out of here. Both had to get their ass up out of it. I mean, he still would have beat him in the final. Not necessarily, because where would he went? Like, well, if he didn't have all three, if he had D Wade and Chris Bosh, no matter where he went with them, then yes, they probably would have still beat him in the finals. But if they didn't build that super team in the Heat and LeBron went to one of the places he was expected to go by himself, or maybe even just had Chris Bosh with him rather than Dwayne Wade, both, I still think it would have been different. That's my opinion. You can give up picks for him to be honest. No, again, that's not how trading works. You have to match contracts. And the Bulls have no first round picks that they can trade of their own anytime soon. So again, create a realistic deal for me. Create a realistic deal. Don't just say picks. What picks? Know what picks the Bulls have. We have our own first round pick this year that we can't trade. We have the Portland pick that we can trade that is probably either it's going to be a low pick or we just don't have it. Create a realistic trade for me, JJ Ortiz. That's what I'm tasking you with. Create a realistic trade for me. Do you think if Derrick didn't hurt his knee that year, they would win the championship? that team was probably better than the team before, the year before, when they made the Eastern Conference Finals. They still would have had to contend with the Heat, but that was a better team. They had gotten better in that second year, which is what I think is going to happen with this team too. So I don't know. Ben Gordon was on some GOAT shit in that Celtics. Listen, that is my favorite playoff series of all time. I remember damn near every game of that series. You remember when Brad Smith got a tooth knocked out by Rajon? I know his mouth started bleeding, but I think he did lose a tooth to Rajon Rondo in that series. That series was fucking bananas. Bananas. Worst move Ben Gordon made was taking the Pistons money. They didn't use them right. Yeah. I mean, and then, but it had to be something with Ben too, because he was out of the league after that. After the league of that. Zach LaVine, just because of seeing how he's grown, getting to see him come to this team and really being kind of Bulls fans. Let's be honest, when we did that trade, Laurie was the key. Even Chris Dunn, probably people were more excited about than Zach LaVine. People thought the Bulls had somebody who could possibly be a 15-point per game scorer when we got Zach LaVine. People now will say, oh yeah, we knew Zach can turn in. People did not think that and look at Zach LaVine in that way when we first traded for him. Keep in mind, the Bulls almost traded Jimmy Butler for Chris Dunn straight up the year before just for the rights to trade Chris Dunn. So getting Markkanen and Zach LaVine in there, people were still more hype, I think, over Laurie, especially the way Laurie played his rookie season. But Zach LaVine, seeing him just the player he's turned himself into, absolutely Zach LaVine is my favorite player on this team. LeBron and Melo was supposed to come to the Bulls. Man, listen, we would have got Melo that year we were supposed to before he went to he went back to the Knicks, right? Is that what happened? Because he didn't go to the Rockets. I know that they were talked about too. But yeah, man, things could have been completely different. If Bron didn't go to the Heat, he would have gone to Chicago. Wade admitted that was the plan, but we couldn't sign all three of them. Man, listen. Well, woulda, coulda, shoulda, man. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I say this: if we had Acme when LeBron, that's a good point. If we had Acme back then, and and that's the thing. Somebody pointed out is that I don't know if we had the space to sign all three of them, but we definitely would have got. And I remember like LeBron, they were talking. LeBron wanted to come here, and then didn't Wade and Bosh say that at that point they thought about combining to come here if they couldn't go with LeBron. So yeah, we definitely would have had two, if not all, found a way to get all three of them. Most memorable part of that series was Noah stealing the ball and running down the court and dunking it. Oh, yes. Absolutely. And that's when Noah was still like really lanky, right? Because like Noah eventually he transformed his body and became a nice solid player. But at that point, Noah was still like this really skinny, lanky player. So yeah. Alex Caruso is the new Tony Allen of the NBA. I like that. I like that a lot. If Caruso reminds me of Rodney, exclude the rebounding, they're the same player, both doing shit no one else wants to do. That's a nice comp. All right, we're getting ready to wrap it on down. So get any last thoughts or anything in now. We're gonna go ahead and start winding down. I like to typically go about an hour and a half. So we're at that. Knowing me, we'll probably go about an hour and 45 now that I'm just winding it down. But yeah, let me know. Do. Chicago Bulls basketball history may have been different if Tom Thibodeau rested players and subbed Derek out of that game. The thing is that, and people have said this before, keep in mind that Derek tore his ACL, tore the MCL, right? No, the meniscus when he finally did come back. It was bound to happen, I think, at some point. It's just those knees were, if something was bound to happen with his knee, it would have happened at some point. So yeah, something would have happened. Something would have happened. Key Isaac Epps, did I see your last comment? Give me 1 second. Let me go back up. Oh, the flop from LeBron in game 5 or 6 still pisses me off to this day. The fact that he winked after it happened made it worse. LeBron get like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and this is gonna sound bad, but fuck it. Judge your mama, not me. Judge your dick sucking auntie, not me. I used to get so pissed off during that series that I was like, it would be nice if I had the money to pay somebody to just run out on the court and hit LeBron in the knee with a metal bat. I literally used to say that all the time. That's how pissed off I was by it. The Celtics series put knots in my stomach. I hated Rondo in that series. Yeah, Rondo's fucking bitch ass. Yeah, yeah. Do you think Acme will end up making moves before the trade? He'll make. I don't know about before. Again, I don't know if it's going to come through trades, but I think buyout market is definitely where he's going to be active at. And the reason why I say that, right, and I say this a lot too, is that you got to think any power forward who gets bought out, the Bulls have to be at the top of their list. Um, so because of that, I think that we're gonna have our as long as the players are actually bought out, we're gonna basically have whoever we want. Cap, found your Twitter page last night. Immediate thank you, bro. I'm trying to do better at posting there. I don't post there that often, and that's another thing surprising how much the channel has grown because I don't promote at all. Like I admittedly I suck at promoting Chicago Bulls Central on social media. I don't do it. So like I'm really gonna after the holiday season and everything. I'm gonna really come up with like a social media plan and out because that's the way that I work best is having a plan and for releases when I release. And once I come up with that, I wonder how much better we're going to continue to, or how much more we're going to continue to grow because I don't promote us. Like I think I've posted maybe 3 videos. I've this will be my 90th video on this channel, and I've maybe posted clips 3 times of those 90 videos from different shit. So I need to definitely get better on that. Definitely get better on that. Bro, saying Nancy Kerrigan on LeBron. Listen, I hated that motherfucker, man. I definitely. This was definitely one of your best after game. Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. Thank you, bro. Haize on it. It's LeBron. Listen, I fucking hate LeBron, man. I subscribe to your channel and hit the bell notification. I will also like the video. Thank you, Retribution Brown. I appreciate you, bro. I think you said this before. Bull Central does not know I fucking exist, bro. Do not know. And I'm more of a video creator. He doesn't get on video much often, but I'm down to work with any Chicago creative. Well, Chicago Bulls creative. They don't have to necessarily be in Chicago because I'm out of Chicago. Geez, I'll be your manager. I gotta do everything. Promotions going tomorrow. Appreciate you, Ricky Fontaine. I may actually have to talk to you seriously between the being a mod and then if you're interested in running the Chicago Bull Central Twitter page, we may have to talk. We may have to talk. Fuck LeBron James. Wow, Shay. Wow, I'm not gonna say the end part of that. Love the stream and always love the content and gonna keep rocking with you. Keep up the grind. By the time next year, hopefully you get to 10K or 20K. Let's get it, bro. Hey, from your mouth to God's ears, bro. Through support, anything can happen, man. I really do appreciate y'all so much, so much. Do you have it? Yeah, it's so everything I'm gonna put it in the chat. Everything that I do for this is all the same handle just to make it easy. It's at Bull Central Pod. So anywhere that I am is Bull Central Pod. So I do have an Instagram, we do have a TikTok, we do have a Twitter. I don't post shit to them at all ever. So I can get you a Bull Central too. Give me damn, bro. Like, how connected are you? How connected are you? But yeah, that's pretty much it for me, man. That's my time. Um, my all-time dream team of just Chicago Bulls or all-time any players in the NBA. Clarify that for me. I'll if you can get it in soon, I'll try to wait around to answer that. But clarify that for me. I think I might. If you're talking about just Chicago Bulls players, I think I answered that a couple of streams ago, but I don't mind answering it again. Great that we got an entertaining stream in even after a bad loss. Hey, I try to do my best, man. I try to. And you guys are the stars of this as much as me, for real, for real. I hope you and the Windy City Breeze can do some business. Hey, I would love to, like I've said it before. I would travel to Chicago to be on their channel. If they just wanted to do it live in studio, I would travel to them just to do a guest appearance there. I have a lot of family in Chicago, so it's not like it's a big deal. I'm only it's about a 5.5 hour drive for me, but I would absolutely travel just to be on their channel. Just to be on their channel. You said anyone. So anyone. Jordan for sure. Pippen's on there. Nah. Jordan, Kobe. Gotta say LeBron, just because I respect his game. Barkley and Shaq. That's what I'll say. That's what I'll say. You are great. Love your vids and your streams. I appreciate that, Brandon. I appreciate that a lot, man. Whew. All right. That's it for me. That's my time today. I have 2 podcasts to edit and post before I go to bed tonight. So that's it for me. The Bearded Bulls fan is about to be out this mug. I'm gonna wait a couple more seconds, man. But I love you guys. I appreciate you guys so much, man. You guys continue to support me. Barris, who's been in a lot of my streams as well. We got to destroy man Bronze names next game. But yeah, that's it, man. That's my time. I love you guys, man. Like I like to end every video on, man. I love you guys. Go Bulls. I'm out this bitch. Peace.